don't think I've had a hard on all day. Maybe in the morning. I don't know. So it
Just
definitely does that to you.
just immediately rolls in with that. Okay, oh, hold up.
Yeah.
We should start with a preface. Like, good intro to the talk.
Yeah.
Um,
It's
all right,
definitely not something I recommend.
all right. Hold up. Let me just take the reins for 2 seconds here. Hi, welcome to the chat. This is between shit. We've never okay, handles only. This is with my boy Maple. This is Streamline 2.0, and we're here talking about the DXM Experience. Maple yesterday took how much?
450 milligrams.
450 milligrams, and we are going to be talking about that. Keep in mind, anybody listening, it's not that we encourage anybody to do this. Furthermore, if anything, listening to the experience might you might understand why it's not so
It
dank. Let's
coming
start
into
off
it.
with you though.
Okay, yeah. Coming into it, it definitely feels like an attractive thing. Like it's so ridiculously inexpensive. Like you could have a trip for under $1. Like you could go to the dollar store, get a pack of 100 of these things. It's crazy.
No, wait,
Um,
you're not kidding? That's how fucked up it is. Wait,
no
I didn't
shit, no
realize that.
shit.
No, hold up. Like I need wait.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's gross.
Shit, it's so cheap. Um,
Ew.
yeah, you can trip balls off of like 20 pills. You get 100 for like $1. It's crazy. So yeah, it's completely legal too. Like all you have to be is 18 to get it, not even 21 or anything. You have to be 18 to get
You
it.
got me you
So you
low
can buy
key.
this, but you can't buy alcohol.
Oh, hold up.
You can't buy booze,
You
or
have
you
me
can buy booze,
so
alcohol, weed, whatever.
okay. I can I interject for a couple seconds because you have me so fucked up right now. It's
Hmm.
unreal. Like with all due respect. Like okay, so
Yeah,
okay, as an example of how stupid this is and how insane. Like you've told me a trajectory that's ludicrous. So you're saying, let's say, 18, still in high school. Now what you can do is purchase a drug over the counter and sell it to a whole bunch of fucking junior high school kids.
oh yeah.
Oh no, that's so
Probably for like
sad.
100 times profit. So
And
imagine this:
they're
you
so
have a pack of
young, they
100.
get so fucking wrecked, and they don't even know what they're doing to themselves.
Yeah, you get a pack of 100. 400 milligrams is like 20 pills, and that's a pretty big dose. So think about that: 5 doses for $1.20. You could sell that for 10.
That's awful. All
So
right.
that's 200
So
percent profit. Yeah.
so that's fucking gross. Like the disgusting part aside, I mean that's the reality though. Obviously, none of us are actually got any connects with any of that, but I mean just the fact that you could do paper like napkin math, like you just like do that in your head super quick and be like, "Oh no, like there's a way to make money off this." That's so sad.
Oh
So
yeah.
okay, so experience though. How is that?
Okay, so I've had a couple experiences prior to this, but nothing at such a high dose. The experiences I've had prior were a few times like mostly it made me like definitely drowsy, and it kind of gave like an alcohol like experience, but it was definitely different in a lot of ways. It was different in which you were kind of taken out of the situation. You can't remember well at all during or after it. Um, it's a really strange feeling in which like when you're there in the moment, it doesn't feel like you're that fucked up, but when you look back, you're like, wow, I was absolutely trashed and my brain was not functioning. Um,
Um
it's kind of scary in that regard.
what about oh crap, I forgot my question. Never mind. Um so it feels like during the come up of the drug, a lot of it is you're in the throes of it, but you don't even recognize you're in the throes of it.
Yes,
Like you're just
yes.
it's
Like For for instance, I my entire trip last night, I thought it didn't kick in the whole time, but it did. Like I thought like it was coming up the entire time, but I got to the point where I was like saying sentences that made no sense, and like you saw the text messages, like
Yeah, no, I saw
I was
those, and
yeah
then
yeah
I literally tried not to interact with you, mostly because I assumed I wouldn't be able to. I'm gonna
yeah
be honest. Now, I think
hmm
that was maybe I
and
also didn't want to because you deliberately took it to trip. Like I didn't want to be there and be like, "Hey, scientific white lab coat dog,
yeah
like guy, like trying to probe you while you're tripping." Like that's not a vibe I want to ever try to. Right? I always want to be there for after it.
yeah exactly. Uh, I even took a picture of myself apparently while I was doing it. I have no recollection of this me taking this picture at all.
Oh
Um,
wow.
So yeah, it's crazy. Like the muscle control, one of the main things that's influenced is your muscle control.
Yeah.
It's hard to like type and like make it like actually where you want to go, and it's hard to walk. You get something called a robo walk,
Okay.
where it's like it's not. It's as if you're like extremely drunk and you can't like walk straight, but like kind of more so. It's like you're like it's really fucked. It looks really weird. If you don't, if you want to see what I'm talking about, look up Robo Walk. It's interesting.
I'll have to check that out at some point for sure.
Yeah.
So okay.
Yeah.
So a lot of okay, so now you did low key. I did ask you. You did mention hallucinations.
Yes.
They weren't a big part, but
I had one hallucination where there was this like beetle on my floor.
mm-hmm.
I looked at it and I was like, damn, there's a bug on my floor. But then I realized it wasn't real. I was like, oh shit. And the other hallucinations I got, they were a lot less vivid, but they were just like sometimes I would see like waves of light just like pulsating in my vision, like just like in a at a constant rhythm, and they would get like bright as they got closer to me. And my
Wow.
friend who's also done it said he also experienced that. So apparently it's a pretty common thing.
Hmm.
Um, yeah. Uh, I guess the mental effects it definitely makes you brain dead for like a day or two at least. And like it's like there's an afterglow to it, but I'd say it's less of a glow and more of like a after depression. You know, like maybe it's because of what I did the day after. Because the day before, I mean, I smoke weed multiple times a day,
Mm-hmm.
um, but I also took it like last evening, and then the morning after at like 8 a.m. I drank like 2 beers, and
Mm-hmm.
I also got to school and smoked weed, and I did that multiple times that day while coming down from that drug. So I
That's a
think
lot
that
of poly.
definitely
That's a lot of poly
exacerbated it.
use, man. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm
Plus,
not trying to. Yeah, I'm just mentioning. Sorry.
that makes the brain deadness a lot more because not only is DXM a dissociative, it's also a nervous system depressant, just like alcohol.
Mm.
So a lot of that like sort of numbness, like you ever get like numb skin kind of, or like just a certain sort of, you just feel like I don't know how to explain it. You get a lot more of that if you mix the two because
Mm-hmm.
it
No,
it exacerbates each
unfortunately, I
other.
know. I'm
Yeah,
aware.
yeah, yeah.
As an
So
alcohol drinker, yeah, no, I know. I know that that tingly sort of kind of numb feeling you can sort of get. I have had the time that I felt it the most. I took one time I took 3 NyQuil pills.
oh yeah.
Holy shit! I didn't realize that would like.
For instance, guess how many pills I took?
No, I looked. I know.
I took more than
14,
that.
and then you took more
I took more.
later.
I took 18.
Yeah, I know. Well, I don't
Yeah.
know. I didn't know what you took later. I know what you took the initial dose, but okay.
Yeah, it was just pure dextromethorphan.
That was the
Um,
other thing as well. I didn't want to like mention it to you while you were
yeah,
tripping, Because I thought that would be obviously not the route to take. You would have
I
to
definitely knew.
experience what you.
Yeah,
Okay, well, low key,
I've tried it.
I would prefer to know that you. I know you're not
Yeah,
dumb, but that's hey to
yeah, I know.
anybody listening. If
Like you
you're
could die.
ever to do DXM, you have to be very aware about what you're taking because they can have other chemicals within these
Yeah,
pills, liquids, whatever are consuming,
it can kill you.
and they yeah exactly they can kill you or
Yeah.
they can at least cause extremely adverse reactions. So
Liver
not
failure,
that
kidney
not that
failure,
anybody here would ever advocate
seizures.
taking DXM or any drug in general, but the point is that if you do, be very wary of what you might consume. It's a reality you have to
Yeah.
live within. This is
The,
yeah.
the biggest thing to watch out for is acetaminophen, which is in most syrups. I personally didn't take a syrup. I took pills, which are usually safer. They're usually mostly pure dextromethorphan. Uh, but you, on top of that, you also want to be looking for dextromethorphan HBr. There's also HCl, which is fine, but the CL, if I recall correctly, is the long release.
Mm.
Like you know how some medicines have like a short release and a
Oh,
long
okay.
release version.
So that could be
The
a case
CL is the
also
long
where you
version.
take it and you think nothing's happening, and then you take more,
Yeah.
and that's where you
Another
get
reason why
fucking cooked.
Yeah, another reason why it took forever is because if you eat before, it'll take like 2 hours to come up. If you don't eat before, it'll take like 30 minutes.
Oh yeah, I guess that's
So I'd always recommend
I
taking
forgot how much like it how important that is. The other thing as well,
Mhm.
people forget to mention, which is what I find kind of cute. But in terms of taking any drug, in terms of the come up effects, um, simple basal temperature matters. So if you're warmed up, like if you are a person that like works out or you've got your body a little bit more warmed up and it's kind of you know molecularly it's kind of expending energy. When you take drugs, that shit'll go in a little bit quicker. It does make a difference. I find on the come up now. Are we talking anything like huge? Nothing crazy, but
Yeah,
I would say that if
it's
you're
definitely noticeable.
yeah,
Mhm.
and it also makes a difference in
Um,
how the experience is because like if you're not warmed up and you're taking something like a psychedelic, let's say like acid, if you're not warmed up at all, you find that you get this buildup. I find in my kidneys, and it rises up my back upwards. If I'm warmed up, it feels like the kidneys are processing it a little bit more. Which, eh, I'm
yeah,
just gonna throw that out there with a a grain of just this is my experience and yeah, nothing else with that.
yeah, yeah. And what also matters is like your body weight and body fat percentage, with
Hell yeah.
depending on what you're taking. Yeah, but I mean that stuff's all like really only look into it if you need to, like. But
Yeah, arguably with proper psychs, you should be okay. But DXM,
yeah,
the
um,
discussion of the night, glory. Hey,
yeah.
I've heard of specific hallucinations associated with DXM. Did you get any of those? I like heard of like ants. I guess you got the cockroach. That's the closest thing. The one time that
I
was
got a
it.
beetle.
Yeah, oh,
I
a
got a
beetle.
beetle.
Sorry, a beetle.
Um, I haven't been hallucinating ants, I don't think, but ants have like kind of been coming out of my backpack. I don't think that's to do with it. Uh,
Are they? Hold up. Have you
they're
confirmed
real.
or?
Like I think, yeah, they're
Oh,
real. Yeah,
oh. So it's just unrelated.
yeah.
There's.
It's just me
Why do
being
you
a
have
slob.
ants coming out of your? Oh, okay. Totally unrelated.
Yeah.
I get it. We'll progress.
Um, yeah. I guess anybody, if you are going to take DXM, which I definitely advise against strongly, um, especially if you don't have experience in taking other substances. Uh, if you're taking something with acetaminophen in it, which honestly, if you are, just don't even bother. It's not worth it. It's not a crazy experience. Um,
As we've
make sure you,
confirmed.
yeah, make sure you don't go over 400 milligrams because that will cause serious issues. For 1,000 milligrams, did I say 400? So basically
Or
4 grams of it.
I
Don't
don't
ever
think you
go
should
above
ever
that.
even touch the sky like that. Realistically,
Yeah,
that's so high. I think
yeah,
realistically, when everybody, the thing about deliriums, in my opinion, and pharmaceuticals, right? Um, sure, you can have access to them, and they might be very readily accessible. Some of the problems with this very fact is the issue that comes with what happens when you start really chasing that dragon, especially um, over progressive nights. You start taking something like DXM multiple nights over, like if you take it in a row, you're building up, and it's not
yeah.
something that anybody would realize. If you were to ever fall into that hole, um, which again apparently is mostly just feeling like confusion and drunk and not in control of your own body. So
Yeah, it
there's better
literally makes like
drugs. Like,
people say they like do shit and they don't remember it and they just like they just have like blackout moments on alcohol. DXM is an entirely new level of that.
it's just like,
I
okay.
There are hours of last night that I have no recollection of,
So it's just
and
like,
I didn't even notice.
and it's like, what uh would you feel that you benefited from it at all? Like, is there,
There,
would any part of you, like, what would it take for you to think that this was good or better
I
than
I
not doing
have
this?
learned some things from it. I wouldn't say it's even mostly a bad uh, this experience in particular. Like there are things that I've learned from it. Um, it's kind of like been like showing me what path I'm heading down
Okay,
and like being
okay,
more careful about it.
that sounds like a
Um,
real, okay, yeah.
yeah, and like I don't know that just it's hard like it kind of makes you just feel like shitty the day after. Like it really does. Like
So it's kind
I
of
don't
one of
know.
the,
Well,
it's one of those experiences where you're like, I did it, holy shit, I did this, wow, why? And then you're like, hey, nah, let's like reevaluate some things, kind of a thing. Like,
yeah. Well, it's not maybe to that extent. It's more so
okay,
just like um I don't know if I would say I would never do it again because I probably would. Um because I don't think I've gotten the most out of it that I could, but I know I'm going to take at least a month off before I try it again.
do you think there's
Um
anything to get out of it? Is my question though. Like, what's to get out of this versus, let's say, something like mushrooms or acid or
like what do you think this delivers that's unique to that to
because
itself?
well, the thing is, to me, this experience you could just readily get from, drink fucking two high
Yeah.
alcoholic beers and smoke a bong rip, if anything, and here you go.
Well,
Apparently that's DXM. Like, without,
um
you have to remember though, and I want to be very, I I worry so much because DXM usage, those that what you're like DXM, what it's doing is very problematic to the body
yes.
compared.
Yeah, it'll definitely cause like Alzheimer's and dementia. Like it's very linked to that.
That's what I worry about, bro. As
Mhm.
real talk,
And
like, I care about you
you
as a
can
homie. Like,
feel it. You can feel it like I feel like my brain, even today, is at like 30% working power. It's like I can't like think deeply. I it takes me a long like I'll just sometimes type like the wrong word, which I do all the time anyway, so I'm doing it like more.
Mm.
Uh like I feel like overall I just like my mental capacity just shrunk. Like I don't know, but
Well, that's just
it
it.
could
Like,
also just be me being hazy because I'm still like technically coming down from it.
I mean, coming down from it, you got to remember what you're coming down from is like doing mental fucking potential stuff to yourself, right? Like, it's not so much you're coming down, right? You're recovering from.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know what I'm saying? Like, please, like, I that's why again when you say stuff like I want to do more later, it's like, dude, like, please, like, I really mean this. Like, you could, there's this isn't a route to explore, man.
Yeah, for sure.
I didn't mean this to be an intervention. This podcast got
Yeah, I
weird.
know. It's chill. It's chill.
No,
You
but
don't
like,
think I've gone through 100 of those
no,
because of
I
like,
know,
yeah.
I know everybody you fucking encountered tells you to not fucking do it. But like, the point is, it's
No,
like,
not even just that. Just like me thinking to myself, like,
well, the thing
wow,
is, if you're thinking to yourself, man, you got to remember how important yourself is. You have to remember, dude, you're actually important. The thoughts you have are important, man. That's just, look, I'm gonna tell you this. This is the realest thing ever, dude. Those thoughts that you have right now, those are the most important shit ever. Don't let yourself tell you that you should just brush them off, man.
yeah. I feel like DXM has a high potential for harm in a way where not just to yourself, but it sort of makes you like it
Kind
makes
of
you
a
not really
zombie.
act like yourself. Yeah, it makes you kind of like a zombie, and it you do things and you don't remember doing them, and you have no control over yourself, or very little control over yourself when you're doing them. You don't think about what you're doing. So
I'll
when you're
say,
on,
yeah. Sorry, I'm
when
listening.
you're in such a mode, and you are just super hazy, you're not remembering anything, you are impulsive, you're delusional, there's a lot of things you can do that could be bad, especially if you have people that rely on you. It's not something you can do and also be responsible with. Like it strips away um, your desire to do what you need to do. So I think that's probably the biggest thing about it. If you were using it chronically, it would cause a lot of issues with that.
Well, not only that, I mean, I think you mentioned very specifically that the part where, so the part where you say that you lose your own sense of responsibility, and then not only that, but you lose your sense of self.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah,
Yeah.
it kind of dissipates. It's called a dissociative for a reason. It's a very good descriptor of what it is because you're not getting any real benefit out of it. You're just sort of
Away.
having this happen with a very slight sense of euphoria, maybe. And that's only really if it's like a new or exciting thing. If it's not, it's just any other day. It's just like it weighs you down, and there's no
Well, you're
positives
just
to it.
being
All
honest. It's one of those things where it's like, look, man, there are drugs that cause better euphoria.
yeah, for real. Like if you want, and the thing is, it's a weaker experience than acid. I can't speak for mushrooms because I've never taken them, but I assume it's a weaker experience than mushrooms.
I would. Here's what I'm
So
gonna say. I would literally argue like, acid. You can take acid up to like 350, 400 like micrograms, and mushrooms up to like a 2 grams, 3 grams, and they're like the same. They fuck around the same. I don't know what
mhm.
happens above that, but I do know what happens on fucking mushrooms when you take more. Oh boy, that's a
Yeah,
ride. But
Yeah,
yeah, I don't.
it definitely DXM is definitely something that wouldn't compare to that. So if you're looking for a crazy experience, look elsewhere. At the price point, at the legality, it's just not worth it. It's too dangerous and destructive. There's really nothing to gain out of it. So, I mean, if you're doing it once with friends to have a good time, and you go in with a solid mindset, and you know it's not going to cause issues, fine. You're going to do what you're going to do.
It's like this is
But
like
I
the
would say
experience, so you
always
don't take
proceed
it.
with
Yeah.
caution. Yeah, I'm sort of telling you how it is so you don't have to take it, but if you're going to take it anyways, whatever, just be safe. Don't have respect for yourself. Don't just pile this shit in your body because it doesn't belong.
You
It
heard it
doesn't
here.
belong.
You heard it here first. DXM is a pretty bitch ass mid drug. We're not saying that
Maybe.
any of y'all that might be taking it are bitch asses. We're just saying that there are better drugs out there. If you need to experience something that isn't going to end up with so much detriment in your life. Not saying that you
Yeah.
need
Like, would I say
drugs,
I regret?
but
Yeah. What if you're gonna do them? There are better ones. Dissociative wise, even nitrous oxide. Take that for example. I was addicted to nitrous oxide for a couple weeks whenever I was a young teenager. I was 13. And the experiences I had on that outweighed these way more. They were way more vivid. They were way more euphoric. They got you way more fucked up in general. But you still had control over yourself a little bit. But that's not me advocating to take a shit ton of nitrous oxide because, as I said, I was addicted to it. It is destructive. There's a reason I quit. You can't, like, that shit's not good for you at all. But I would argue that it's better for you than DXM, and it's worth exploring a lot more than DXM.
no, you're saying that if one were to choose to alter their mental state,
In a dissociative manner.
in a dissociative manner, the nice thing about whippets, that's what colloquial cool boy term. Um,
Mm-hmm.
they're far more fast acting, and it's not
Oh yeah,
we're not talking about taking a drug that has to be processed, digested by your body, and
yeah.
then interpreted by your mental state. Like, this is also another thing we have to mention casually.
You can
Drug
basically stop the ride whenever you want.
Yeah, drugs that
Yeah,
allow you to consume something and experience it quickly make a big difference than pills or stuff that you consume inside of your body. If you have to eat something and it interacts with your body, with all due respect, wait and sit the fuck down and stop, because you can't consume less after you've done more in those situations. You cannot. So that's just a, I don't know, a weird preface warning thing. I don't know. Sorry, I got
yeah.
passionate
And like,
there.
is it really like think about it? Is it really worth it? Like, you get a little bit more fucked up, but you have the risk of all this bullshit like psychosis and developing issues like dementia and Alzheimer's, like
Oh yeah,
um,
the level that you can go.
serotonin syndrome. If you're mixing things, like it can get fucked. Death, kidney failure.
Yeah,
There's so much shit
I
you
guess
don't
that's
want to fuck
another
with.
big thing. Like again, serotonin syndrome is another one that I've always wanted to keep. I love the progression of psychedelic usage being, brought to everybody, but I really want people to know about stuff like that. Like, if you guys are taking antidepressants, you got to be careful as shit. Like,
Yeah,
you literally cannot. You have to make sure that whatever you might be taking alternatively is very specific, because you could be causing very horrible harm. Um,
yeah,
we're not talking a bad trip. We're talking about like seizures and other problems.
Yeah.
Um, kind of wild. I think. Do you think I'm gonna have to cut up this? I don't know. I'm gonna send this.
No, I
I'll.
think it's fine raw.
I could send this. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I
This has
mean,
been good.
I
I don't.
personally
I think
enjoy.
it's been pretty nice.
Yeah, I personally enjoy like raw discussions, especially if they're about something more in depth. Like I feel like it deserves the time. It doesn't really need to be skipped around with
Yeah.
because you kind of think about everything that you're saying in regards to it.
I guess if we were, sitting here and not actually discussing anything, then we could cut that out. But that hasn't really been the case so far. Um,
Yeah.
that all aside,
Is there anything else that you're curious about, like the trip itself?
cost. Okay? Sorry. Real. You said it was like $2, less than $2.
Pretty much, yeah. It's cheap as shit. You can get it at some dollar stores for like a pack of like a
Huh.
hundred,
That's
and
crazy to me.
each pill has 25.
So it's like it's so funny to me because I only mention this because it seems like obviously the United States has this huge penchant for getting rid of illicit drugs, but anything over the counter's been deemed okay, and
Yeah,
it's been that
like
way for so long.
when you're 18 here, you can buy fucking DXM and nitrous oxide, but you can't buy tobacco or nicotine or fucking marijuana or alcohol.
What can you buy? When you're 21, you can get alcohol for sure. What about marijuana or tobacco? Well, you can
You can
get
get tobacco when
tobacco.
you're 21, but you can get THC derivatives when you're 21. You can't get actual fucking marijuana
Oh,
here.
okay.
Like
Huh. You have to get analog.
you
Okay,
can get.
analogs. I get you.
Yeah,
That's so goofy to me. And the thing is, like, to
yeah,
me,
I
and
know.
again,
Like
like when I think about it, like it's not a benefit. Like, like what would
it
be
makes no
like
sense.
we've had these plants for how fucking long? Just smoke
Yeah,
the fucking
it's
plant. And they're like, no, 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 no. Smoke this chemical derivative that's
I
not the
know.
exact same
Like
thing as the plant that we spray onto a plant that looks like the plant and kind of smells like it, but
it's
it's not
totally a
it.
hemp. It's actually a hemp extract.
It's just,
No.
it, I, oh man.
Yeah, and what's fucked is like probably like at this point like 80% of what I'm smoking is that derivative, that analog shit. Like it's hard to actually get like real good weed here. Like it's
Mm.
it's hard to do. Like you have to go through the system of like finding a street plug and like seeing if they have good rates and if they're nearby and when you can get cash to get it because you can't buy it in card. Like it's a whole bunch of bullshit. Like how
Mm.
much easier and more beneficial to society would it be to just have a store with it and it's completely safe and there's no bullshit, there's no illegal shit. People would be less likely to indulge in it just because it's an illegal thing. Like if it's a
Uh,
legal thing, it kind of gets demystified a little bit.
it's a twofold thing. I think when it initially gets initiated, it's like, whoa, this is super cool, and then eventually it's like, wow, this is
Yeah, and
exactly
then
what it
like
was before.
give it
Um,
5 years.
yeah,
Like
it's
everybody's already doing it anyways.
that's the so low key, really quickly. When we came in with marijuana regulation inside of my country, the biggest way they were trying to regulate it was, well, how do we regulate all these people smoking the marijuana, driving their cars?
True.
What do we do? Because people are going to be driving around high, and it's just like, honey, they've been driving around high this whole time.
Yeah, I definitely think driving stoned is like a lot
Well,
chiller than driving drunk. Like I don't have a problem with it.
it's twofold. Here's the thing, right? As a person who might be a stoner, if you smoke weed to a certain point, you don't, right? Like, okay,
Yeah,
if you've never smoked weed before, right? You hit the
you
bong,
probably shouldn't
you
drive.
smoke, yeah,
Yeah,
you're not going to
yeah,
be able to drive. And you know what?
yeah,
You don't fucking ever want them to drive. It's the same thing
yeah.
as like you give a person, and again, I wouldn't tell anybody to drive while drunk, but
Oh yeah.
unfortunately, there is this class of people that have been doing it without problems, without getting caught, for years. They're the ones that basically drive normal while inebriated. This is a
Yeah.
reality that will scare every normal person. And I am not telling anybody to ever get to that level because, first of all, you have to remember to be willing enough to kind of endanger others. I can't. No, there's a problem there. However, um, there are people that are really good at video games and people that suck, and the people that are really good, you don't catch.
Yeah.
It's sorry, like how? Why, how? Like, if you were driving well, what would be the point of scanning their car? If you were driving well, what would be the point? Like, they would just be doing what other drivers are doing, driving well. It's a
Yeah.
again, I can never advocate for it, but some people
There
like
are
to live
definitely
life
people
on hard mode, man.
yeah.
I don't know. I guess that's
But
the
yeah, like
darkest part of this convo.
yeah, I think that definitely is a big thing. Like if you're going to drive stoned, like you want to make sure that your tolerance is at a point where it wouldn't be a big deal. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
And if you were, do the stone thing. Take it on the chill places where you feel comfortable.
Hmm.
But also, just if it's really that bad, don't. Like, the thing is, if anything that you feel like, if you were to do anything that makes you feel that bad, like if you feel like you're going to be that bad to do anything, that's a clear sign you shouldn't do it. That's right. Like, if someone dares you to go eat freaking 10 cheeseburgers from McDonald's and you're sitting there being like, no, that's not going to be that great. Like, I'm not going to feel good. Like, why would you? Just like stop, be like, you know what, fam, glad you believe in me so much, but this ain't worth it. That's $10, and I'm gonna have to live for the next day and a half with gastrointestinal inflammation. It ain't worth it. You know what I mean? Like, do the math. Like,
Yeah. Speaking of gastrointestinal inflammation, if you're taking syrups, that happens, and
oh,
you can definitely feel
bars.
sick. Yeah.
Oh, well,
Uh,
there's a lot of them opioid based.
I've never taken any that's opioid based.
What are most? Well, I guess not. I don't know what the fuck DXM actually is.
Dextromethorphan, it's a dissociative.
I understand.
Dissociative.
No, I understand that, but um, a lot of the classes here. So disassociatives don't necessarily fall under like their own certain class. They can fall under weird shit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not too sure.
They're like a fuck around and find out gang. They do weird stuff.
Yeah. Uh, I is it a histamine blocker? I don't know.
Oh, right.
Something like
Sorry. I know what it is. Forgive me. Yeah, no. Specifically DXM is an N1 antagonist. Or something. But the problem is that the N1 thing that it attaches to actually doesn't necessarily attach to one specific thing. It attaches to like everything in your body. And this is why when you take progressively more of it, you get more bodily effects and more other effects. Um, which is also specific to the individual because every individual is going to have their own body chemical makeup, etc., and are going to respond to this drug uniquely. Um, yeah, yeah.
yeah. Like I feel like one of the other things that the after effects do is, or even like during it, makes time go by really slowly. Like it makes time drag, which I mean can be a good thing in certain situations, but like you don't if you're just like chilling like in school, you don't really want time to drag, you know.
So if time's dragging, that's two things that are happening. You know what they are? In my opinion?
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, time dragging is it's boredom of the experience followed by um, the inability to remember the last time they checked the time and therefore
Yeah.
embrace experience. So like
And
it sounds like
also,
this it sounds like it's preventing you from just like experiencing anything.
yeah, it's also like you're so fucked up that like you can't really do anything. So like anything you would do to entertain yourself, it's like so you can't really even do it because you're so fucked up. So like you kind of just have to sit there and at most like watch something, or like if you can take a walk. It, like even then, that'd probably be not a great idea because you have the fucking robo walk, you're gonna triple over yourself like a maniac.
No, I kind of get that. I've had there was a specific time. I think I this was like one of those like oh God, I've mentioned them before. Never ever ever take high doses of mushrooms back to back unless you want to experience psychosis. Um, um, I'm talking high dose, like good. Anyway, point is that yeah, no, this is that sounds exactly like one of the times where I took mushrooms the day after a big mushroom trip, and basically
Yeah,
it felt like I was coming up, but I couldn't come down to do anything, and I was like floating in this weird interstitial space of just like.
like yeah. I I, I think what might have like added to the feeling that these just like weird feelings is I didn't it wasn't a long time before I like prior of my last DXM experience. It was like 3 days or something. Like 3 days prior, I didn't take a big dose. It was like 200 and 250. It's still significant though. Um, and then a few days later, I took 450. So it
No, that explains a lot. First of all, you're forgetting, man. You're forgetting that you were coming down from that last experience. It's not that
yeah
quick.
like
Like, especially
the
with this
come
shit.
down the come down takes a while. I took like 150 one day, and I slept 14 hours a day for 3 days straight.
My guy. You
Yeah,
gotta treat this shit better.
yeah, for real.
Please.
Yeah, I know I'm not taking any for a fucking while. If it ever
No,
again,
man, like, honestly, that legit,
the
like,
only reason
this shit
the only
is. Okay, I'll listen.
yeah, the only reason I would take it again is because me and my friends kind of have a plan to. Like me and my friend Brendan kind of have a plan too because he wants to experience it with me. I'm like, okay,
Uh, um, nah.
but I'm talking like in like a month plus.
Well,
So
you
I'm
figure
definitely
out where you're at. You make sure you're good.
yeah.
Because that's the thing.
I think the worst thing about it that like, bro, don't ever mix this shit with alcohol. Oh my god, bro! It like it doubles down on your fucking it like on the depressant aspect of it. It really just like I don't even know how to describe it. It kind of shuts
Oh,
everything down.
no, you know what it's like? Oh, hey, have you
Yeah.
ever taken a bong rip with tobacco in it in the bowl yet?
No, I haven't, but
No,
I've like
no, like, do you
I've
want
like
to?
smoked blunts.
Nah, dude. Taking a bong rip with a couple of tiny bits of tobacco in it. Nah, it's the most. It's gross as shit because first of all, you'll hit it and you'll be like, "Holy fuck, this
Tastes
is
like
the
tobacco.
hardest shit I've ever hit in my life," and then very quickly you'll be like, "Oh god, I understand why."
Tobacco is gross, bro.
I hate tobacco, but you hit that shit like again, we're talking like a tiny bit with like some good weed, and you hit them both at the same time. And the way that tobacco works, it basically hits you instantly and it will supercharge anything positively that you're like
Oh yeah.
doing immediately. And so like you hit the tobacco as you're hitting the weed and like the tobacco makes you feel really good as the weed comes up like and it's like this. It's like
Yeah. So
like you just
on that
fucking it's
topic,
so gross. Oh, I again, it's
yeah.
one of the
On that topic,
oh grossest
this
mixes, but
morning,
holy shit.
yeah, this morning, I so, okay,
I'm hitting
so
the
I
bong by the
guess
way.
for instance, okay, for instance, this is all the stuff I took. 450 the day before, and it was the morning after, so it's still definitely coming down with it a lot. Like my eyes get so bad. Um, and I drank 2 beers like just then, like just at that moment, basically like maybe 10 minutes prior. Smoked a good bit of weed. Like I don't know, I don't really know. I wasn't thinking about it a good bit. And then I was hitting this nicotine vape, and I don't hit it like a normal person. I don't hit it for like that. I take like pretty big hits of nicotine vapes for some reason, and then I
No.
just like I took like 5 of those. Yeah, and like I always try to like flex with it in a way. I know it's like cringe, but I like flex it. I'm like I'm gonna for 5 seconds, and I'm like and then it's like
Sorry I
harsh.
killed half your cart, bitch. Peace.
Yeah, it's like harsh nicotine vapor. It's not even vapor. It's like fucking
Burnt
aerosol.
sadness at that point.
Yeah, yeah. And then you get like crazy like for a bit, and like you're feeling that off the beer and the weed and the DXM and all the bullshit running through your veins, and then you're just like,
Hmm?
oh god, I'm fucking ugh. Like
No. Describe that exactly. You be honest.
okay.
What did you do to
So
yourself? Come on.
let me think back. So
Was
you
it
get
good?
the
Do you feel like you
it was
did
good.
good?
No, I didn't feel good, but in the moment,
Did it really? Did you think it was
yeah,
good in the moment?
not necessarily,
There you go.
but yeah,
No, be dude. Honestly,
I liked everything else.
you were so fucked up. You were like, man, being fucked up is kind of cool right now. Wait,
Yeah, like I don't know, dude. Like that definitely wasn't the most fucked up I was because I probably peaked around like 9 p.m. or 8 p.m. yesterday, um, something like that. Uh, that's when I was texting all those people, all that shit, all the fucking
I
crazy
remember,
shit.
man. I remember fucking. I literally, I just didn't. I was like, I know where he's at.
What was your
Nah,
reaction to that?
which just what
Seeing all the texts.
that like that you showed me.
Uh huh. Or wait, was I texting you at that point?
No, you. The only thing you sent me, I remember it was pingas, and I was like,
I said,
what?
why did I say that?
I don't
Wait, I'm
fucking
looking
know.
back on the DMs of the you. What the hell?
I remember asking you something. And you were like, "Pingas," and I was like, "Okay, what?" And you were like, "Oh wait, hold up, let me give you explanation." I was like, "Okay, cool."
I
And then
said,
it sounded like whenever like, dude, I shit you not. It sounded like whenever you messaged me and I responded to you, part of your fucking brain just like came into like sobriety
dude,
for like two and a
okay,
half seconds and was trying to vibe so hard because
dude,
dude, you
I have
seemed
to
pretty
explain.
okay,
I
but I know
have
you
to
weren't.
explain what was going through my brain whenever I was reading these messages is I would read them, but I would read them and I'd interpret like a completely different message. Like whatever they said, throw it out the window. Here's a new idea. Like it could be whatever I was thinking about in the back of my mind, something I'm watching, something I'm just thinking about. I think they're talking about that. So I respond to that, and then I just make no sense. I'm saying, and I can barely move my fingers, and like,
It took you like a half
yeah,
hour to say each thing, and you're like,
yeah, I know.
fuck.
Yeah,
Ah.
I think at some point I got like halfway through and I just sent it, like,
That
cause I'm like,
sounds like me on mushrooms, like on a real crazy mushroom trip. But then
yeah.
again,
So
that's not the same, but go on.
I sent you dosed one time BM. Well, I don't know what a BM is, and then you said, "What's up?" I said, "Pingus." You said, "What's that?" I said, "I'm still coming out." You said, "What's it like?" I said, "It feels like I'm a drunk driver."
Hey,
What the
you
fuck?
were speaking English
Yeah.
then. That was good. Again, the
It
fact that
didn't
you
feel like I was a drunk
responded
driver
so
though.
quick after that, I was like, what the fuck? Like, damn.
Why did I think driver? Like what? And then you said, but like driving your body instead of a car. I said, I don't know yet. I'm also like incapable if understand shit. I said, wait, I said weird as shit. Sorry, I'm getting kind of LST. I hope I can actually peak now. I'll take more if I can't by 8:45. No, bruh, I would just call it. That's not a drug you want to be messing with. Okay. You said how goes that? Weak as fuck. Took 450 UG, but it was milligrams. It felt nothing. I definitely did felt nothing.
I definitely did not feel nothing.
Yeah.
Like, I love that. I'm like, yeah, dude, took a whole bunch of shit, felt nothing. Meanwhile, here's a whole bunch of texts of me not being able to respond to anybody for the past 4 hours.
Yeah. And it's crazy because I feel like I've talked to people while they were on this before. Like they didn't tell me or anything, but like the way they were responding at that time makes me think like, oh yeah, that's how I was responding now. So
It's all coming full circle. You're like,
yeah,
oh no.
yeah, this is a thing. This is a thing that exists and people do. Oh fuck. But yeah, hold on. Let me read my messages with turtles because that's where I was really getting crazy. I just randomly said, "Damn brush hoe much longer till pink" to him.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
good.
he
That's
said,
good.
"Bro,
I bet he
you're not
understood
making."
that.
He said, "Bro, you're not making any sense. This is motherfucker is high on DXM." I said, "Yes." He said, "I used to religiously take it 600 milligrams a day,"
I
and I
still.
said, "I think GH 425."
What the fuck is that? Are you a government plan?
He said,
Like, I don't
"Are
even
you?"
understand.
He said, "Are you in the Dexterverse?" I said, "Yes." He said, "You feel it? What's it doing to you?" I said, "Yes, sir." And then in all caps, free with non.
Yeah,
I
boy.
think I think I understand that one. I was referencing this like stupid video. Hold up.
What the fuck? I
Yeah,
laughed. I
it was
laughed
like
in
this ad.
echo. Hold on, those are my cans. Dude, there's so much light. Oh my god.
It was this. Like for some reason I was like I typed this, but like I couldn't type it. Free Wi-Fi anywhere you go.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I guess I don't know if that's exactly what I was trying to do, but
Just like when
I
you're
said
so
that to
lit.
him.
Like that's all you can do.
Yeah, like it's so weird. I the whole time I was doing this, I wasn't realizing how little sense I was making until like the day after. I was like, "What the hell was I talking about?"
Dude, the only way I can describe this experience is blacking out repeatedly.
Yeah, I was I
And
was
it
pretty much blacking
sucks.
out, but I was like conscious during it. It was so weird. You're just in this like state where you're like you're trying to act like you're normal, but you're not normal. But you feel kind of normal, but you're not normal.
Okay, well that's me all the time, so that's nothing too weird. But when it comes to look, what I'm saying is when blacking out, like I know. So here's the thing: I live blacked out pretty good most of the time, but there was an era where I was doing real bad shit, where I was drinking 8% beers and I was getting real fucking blacked out. And when I was getting real fucking blacked out, I wish this was not a thing. I wish this was not something that was happening in my life. But I was literally going around pissing, like, in
Yeah.
places. Like, I was pissing in my room. And the discovery that it took was when I apparently decided to try to take a good old piss in my mother's bedroom
Yeah.
while
That's a
she was
classic.
sleeping, and she woke up. Promptly told me that I was pissing there, and I remember fucking looking at her dead in the face, being like, "I'm not fucking pissing here. How do you mean?" And I had to look down, and I was like, "Oh, this is weird. Why is the wall all wet? And like, why are my pants wet?" And I'm like, "That's weird." And I was like, "Wait, oh no!" I had to literally fucking, I had to like look up at my mom and be like, "I was pissing here. I'm so sorry. I
Yeah.
I don't
Good deal.
I don't even I can't I can't even take care of this right now. I'm sorry. Yeah, I gotta go. This is weird." She was like, "Yeah, you should just go." I'm like, "Thanks." Like, it was
Yeah.
a fucking moment, man.
Yeah, dude.
So that's when I stopped drinking 8% beers.
Yeah. Thankfully, I only had 5%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome. So all I can say is, I gotta ask you, dude. Why do you like? You're going to school still, aren't you?
Hmm. Usually, I'm at school when I'm doing these things. Like,
That's what I mean.
I
Like, why are you drinking and going to school? Like, why?
the
Like,
school fucking sucks, dude. I
yeah, I
can't
get that. I
stand it
get
so bad.
fine. So fucking what? Finish it, bitch. Sorry, but
Yeah.
I'm being real. Like, honestly, I get it. School sucks, but you know what else sucks? Being old and not fucking getting a high school education at least. Get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speed run it. You can fucking do
Like,
this. Like, don't give me no excuses. You know you
I've
can.
been working towards it, and I have like clear goals that I need to meet. Like I talked to my counselor and everything. There are clear goals that I have to meet, and they're not unrealistic goals. Definitely, I could definitely do them. Am I on
Okay.
track to achieve them? No, not really.
But why not?
Could I
Because
be
you
if
can
I?
be. Yeah, I know you
Yeah,
can be.
I know. I pushed myself towards it a bit more today. I got some of my shit done, um, but
Based.
yeah,
Now, keep in mind, I'm not gonna lie to you. You're still recovering from whatever the fuck you did to yourself a couple days ago, and that was still wild. But yo, you have a whole life of good shit ahead of you, man. You can do this.
yeah. I I don't know. Like
Hold up. By the
I
way,
I
we're
also
still
feel like
recording.
oh okay yeah, it's cool. I
Alright.
also feel like there's like you get a sense of like um wiseness in like certain friend groups. If so, the way my friend groups at school work for me is I have this primary friend group, which is all my real day one homies. I just always been friends with them,
Mm-hmm.
and then I have a secondary group of friends, um, and we basically we're smoke buddies pretty much. Smoke buddy, like that's what we do. We hang out, we smoke, we do shit.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
realistic. You get, yeah, I
yeah,
understand that. Sure, okay.
yeah. And I feel like there's like a if you do something, you gain like a sort of a story to tell with these people, and like something under your belt. I don't know. It's not like something I'm chasing whenever I'm doing these experiences, but it's definitely a thing that's there.
I would say, I understand that.
Like there's a
Biggest,
sense of camaraderie with it.
Yeah, for sure. I understand that. I will not. I will not take that away. I would also say that you are a you're worth being as good as you can be for as long as you can. I don't
Hmm.
really know how to say that otherwise. I don't really know if that even really comes across as meaningful, but that's what I mean. I mean is you are a person that is extremely valuable, and you are worth keeping um that ability as much as possible for as long as possible, because I see you benefiting from that over time. You know, what I really mean to say is, sure, you can have an experience and an experiment, but I really, really want to say is that like you, I feel, will always prosper from benefiting from choosing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't.
But,
Sorry, I come off like an old ass geezer.
nah, nah. It's chill. I really don't think so. Like, you definitely have more experience with this than I do. So it's always worth like hearing what you have to say because like you know how it is.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
no offense. Like, there's other drugs you can experiment with. Like,
Hmm.
they legit. I've looked down it enough. This is specifically not the one.
Yeah.
um,
At least I'm not taking like DPH.
Hey, it's the same thing though. They're actually both under the same category. Are you aware?
No shit. I
So
just remember DPH being so much worse, but that's because I OD'd.
yeah,
So
but yeah, no, they both fall under actually like the similar category of yeah.
yeah, the effects of DPH though are just so brutal. Like it's so terrifying. Like it's nothing you ever want to experience. It's
Well, think about it
crazy.
though. There's just concentrate. It's just a more concentrated form as well.
Hmm.
I could be wrong actually here. I'll
Well,
be honest. My
it's
knowledge
Benadryl.
specifically of well, I know Benadryl and I
Yeah.
know DXM and I know Benadryl is technically actually fuck me, it's
Diphenhydramine, DPH,
yeah, exactly, diphenhydramine. Not DXM is actually dextroaxamine.
dextromethorphan.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think they. The thing is, functionally, I don't. Again, being honest, the thing is, both of them are not drugs. You
Yeah.
want to mess around. Okay, so here's where my takeaway is, right? Like, uh, uh, both of them fall into a category of drugs where they what they do and the way they operate are through basically flooding certain channels of the body to the point where they don't function right, and that's the quote unquote high.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like so much of a high. It's really weird. Like
Yeah,
it's more so an impairment. I'd say it's less
yeah,
of a high,
okay.
more of an impairment.
There we go, and that's
Yeah.
exactly it. And that's the way I would agree. When I the only experience I've ever had with this, I had taken 3 pills of Nyquil one time.
Hmm.
Holy fuck!
Yeah.
That
Do you know how much was in each pill?
don't even. I know they were big. They were like I don't know. They were like the horse pills. I don't know. They were larger pills, but all I
I'd
know is
say at
that
max like 150.
the thing is I never took Nyquil before in my life.
Hmm.
So I took 3 of these fucking like Nyquil pills. Or were they? I'm sure they were Nyquil. And I remember sitting there in my chair and just like being like, huh, I'm stoned.
It definitely feels similar.
Like in a way that's not the weed that I usually smoke.
Yeah.
Like that was a specific
Mhm.
thing. I was sitting in
Like a
my
different
chair being
kind.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, literally I was like, wait, like I'm like a different kind of high right now. What's this?
Yeah, I know it's really strange, and you get so sleepy. Like
Mm.
eventually, like
Oh,
if you take a
probably. Yeah, yeah. During that era, I was an inhuman being. It didn't. Yeah, no, that wouldn't have been a part of me. Now, yes, but no.
yeah,
During that era, no. Holy, I was. Oh my gosh, the shit I could have done back then. It was gross, man.
yeah, like it feels like it's like reverse caffeine. It's crazy. It just like makes you so fucking tired. But yeah, like as a sum up, one of probably the lowest utility drugs I've ever taken in my life. Um,
DXM.
yeah, lowest utility, biggest uh, opportunity of destruction. 2 out of 10.
So I know that while you were on it, you wanted to take more. Day after,
Mhm.
want to take more at all?
No, not at all. I felt like done the next day. I was like, ugh.
How did you feel as a human being?
What do you mean,
Like, like after taking it, how did you feel about taking it?
about like myself, or like reflecting on like how do I feel about myself having?
Everything. You know, like let's say you taking it. Let's say society judging you. I don't know, just everything. Just overall, like from before you took it to after you took it. How do you feel about yourself in regards to taking this drug?
I felt like um, I definitely wasn't looking out for myself, and like knowing what I was doing was dangerous and not caring. Um, like, and the stigma, the ego kind of part of it, like, um, I knew to not tell like certain people because I know they wouldn't be chill with it,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
I seeing myself in like that way, it's weird because it's kind of like I have a persona of myself and that kind of fits it, strangely enough. But
Mm-hmm.
like maybe that's just out of like feeling that like the demon in me saying that like I won't make it, like kind of like something in me preying on my downfall. Like
Mm-hmm.
if that makes any sense, I don't know. Like
I completely understand that.
yeah,
Dude, I'm gonna be honest. The whole reason why I exist with the problem that I have is because there is this problem within me. The thing is, man, I don't think you have to live that way, dude. Sure, I think being cognizant of what could cause your downfall and being recognizable of where that downfall could be is important, right? The thing is, um, I don't know, man. I don't know your upbringing, but like it's hard. It's hard to be brought up in a place without anybody telling you that what you're doing is meaningful or what you're doing is significant or anything. Uh, you have to create a ton of definition for yourself, and where does that where do you define what's valuable as you're growing up? It's fucking strange
yeah.
and weird, man.
I've always had a habit of like doing doing self-destructive things that there's no reason to, but I do them anyways. And like, I know they're self-destructive, and I don't necessarily want to do them, but I do them anyways. Like always, like
You
even
also
before I
feel
take.
you can overcome them, don't you?
Yeah, for sure. And like,
Yeah, yeah.
I usually consider myself like a pretty healthy person because outside of these things, like physically, I'm like a pretty healthy person. Like I move my body. I like fucking eat decent. Like I take care of myself in certain ways, but I feel like taking these substances, like, it makes me neglect that, and it makes me not definitely not the best version of myself. And when it gets habitual, which I have a tendency to do with many things, you know, it can be
It's
problematic.
because part of you is accepted, you know.
Defeat.
It's not defeat. It's just what's the it's what the easy route is, you know. The
Yeah,
fact
like,
is, no, hold on, 2 seconds, right? The fact is, other people, they got people fucking rooting for them in their corners, right? They got people bringing them up, doing everything for them, right? They got people bringing them up, telling them that they can kick some ass and do some cool ass shit. And sometimes we don't have that.
I wouldn't say that
But,
don't have that. I feel like I have a pretty supportive structure.
well,
But
then how come you're not believing in yourself enough then?
I don't know. Like, it's always been a thing. Like, even when I was like 10, 11, like, I'd cut myself like every day. Like, I've always had issues. I don't know. Like, I don't know what they come from. Where like they're just so they've always been there. It's just kind of a part of who I am.
What did the cutting do?
Gave a sense of belonging and rebellion. Like, it was kind of like a symbol of, like, yeah, this is how I feel, and this is how I cope with it, and I have no issue. I just want to feel something, like, I just want to put myself through an experience and be able to say, there's something I learned, or like, just put myself through an experience and experience it, and kind of like get solace with other people that also have done that. I
Hmm.
feel like it shares a lot of similarity with that.
Neat.
It's sort of like an endorphin rush. I don't know, adrenaline, whatever.
I used to cut myself back when I was about I think I was about 13 or 14. Nothing out of any sort of like malice or anything. Literally, it was just me and a buddy of mine. We just had
Sometimes you just
knives.
do it. Yeah, like,
Yeah, we were just cutting ourselves. But of course, I had to go to school the next day. And again, we would go in like,
yeah, my mom found out and she was
uh,
pissed. I didn't do it after I was 12, but
I wasn't.
there was a while where I was doing it every day for like 8 months, 9 months, something like that. And there's permanent scarring on my arms from it. Like, if you look,
What?
you see it. Like,
See, that's part of it all for me as well. Some of it, mm, I don't know. So you just kept going. You felt, eh?
hmm
While you kept going, was there any sort of like thing going through your head? Like what was
going with what?
like why you kept doing these physical things to your body? What was going through your head?
It's because I found belonging within them. Like,
Like you
and
became part of something else.
yeah, and I kind of just saw it as like a part of my personality. I don't know.
Hmm. You know, I don't think that like mental problems are entirely your personality, my friend.
Yeah, I
I think you might have a couple. Much love, my brother, but I don't think they are entirely you. Is all I'm saying.
yeah, I know I'm so much more than them. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
there was an
yeah.
era where, like, I was doing great. Like,
Hmm.
I
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
but sometimes shit just sneaks its way back in. Like, I'm gonna say, like, when I was like 15, almost 16, and then like 16, like, I was doing pretty good for myself. But past that, like when I turned like 17, 18, I became a lot more self-destructive. Probably more so around 17. I wasn't like doing any drugs or anything, but well, I was, but like only like
Um,
after the first few months. Like,
yo, can I come back? I have to. Sorry, this is the world's greatest podcast. I gotta go. I'll be right back. Fuck.
okay.
I don't even know how to say it. I don't know how to use words right now. Damn it, I'm an idiot. Fucking idiot. Oh, kitty, you're lovely, but now's not the time. I'm sorry. All right, we're back.
Be back. So I guess like what's like the main takeaway of this entire thing? I guess like we've talked about a lot, we've discussed a lot. Um,
Um, biggest thing. Well, first of all, I would say I'm extremely glad that I was able to know that you were going to go on this trip and this was something you were doing. And also, I'm honored to know that. And I think that it's also extremely healthy that if you are going to take any substance, that it's important that you know somebody, have somebody you can trust, and also are able to have a timeline established upon taking a substance. Um, that's something that was, I guess, extremely important to me. Um, this is something that I also do straight up just drop in my server in case anybody encounters me during some nights upon my psychedelic uses. But also I think it's important in case I were to have an issue, people would at least know something. Um,
yeah.
so what the takeaway is hi hi kids and adults, if you're
Don't
ever
do this.
going to take substances, um, I think it's important to know what the substances you're taking are. Don't take anything willy nilly. And if you're going to take them, you
Is it
should do them with some sort of respect.
is it really worth the like think about the worst realistic case scenario. Like not necessarily the worst case scenario, but like what could realistically go wrong? And what are the chances of that? And do you really want to weigh everything you've built up this entire life, your livelihood, your relationships with family and friends, all of your goals and aspirations, everything can just be taken away just like that. Do you really want to risk it just to get high? Like, there are ways to get high that will not risk that. You just have to be more you have to be more involved with it, and you have to be careful, and you have to have a level of self-respect. So it's really like you have to think about like, okay, what am I doing, and what are the side effects of this, and is that in my best interest of living the life I want to live?
What's like getting high or getting sideways? Like I don't know if any of these. I mean, you're the only one. Honestly, I haven't had.
Yeah, no, it's not
Yeah,
even getting high.
like
It's becoming
it's
dumb.
it's like yeah. Like I've had bad mushroom trips.
Yeah, but
I could talk about those, but those aren't.
at least there's a trip. Sometimes on DXM, there's not even a trip. You're just sitting there, like basically just fucking brain dead. Like
Mm,
you're just a body
mm,
that like
oof,
feels like it's acting normally, but it's not.
oof.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'd say biggest takeaway is you know, drugs are they're drugs. Respect them.
Mhm.
And then also respect yourself, man. Holy shit, bro. Like at the end of the day, man, even if you're like truly on the psychedelic ride and it's just like, what is it? Like reincarnation after reincarnation and life after life? Does that mean you gotta treat your current one like it's garbage? No.
Yeah, because it's the only one you know for sure you actually have.
Yeah, bro. Much love, bro. Much love to all. We got this, and we're gonna get this. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
Double pendies in the washroom and shit. Let's go. I'm
Yes,
just kidding.
sir. Oh my god,
All right.
dude, you have no idea. That's my lifestyle, dude. Literally, like every period, almost every period. I'm like 5 minutes late to my classes. It's fucking,
Man,
dude. Sometimes like my
dude.
teachers
Tell
are
you
just like
what.
lost.
Tell you what. You cut that shit by half, man. I believe in you, bro. Come on, man. Get
Like,
your fucking GED, or at least like fuck off. Like,
yeah, I will.
do I gotta
Don't
get
even
in
worry about
here
it.
old man this shit? I'll do it. I will.
Don't even worry about it, bro.
Do you want me? I'll do it. You know what? Fuck it.
I got this
I'm
shit.
on it. No, too late. I'm on it.
I
I will
got this
hound your ass every day now.
shit.
That's how much I care. All right.
Yeah,
But for now, though, we gotta end this recording.
yeah, yeah. Fucking.
What's the what should we? What's the name? What should we call this? The redonkulous homunculus cast.
um, let's name it. Anybody can be an addict.
Anybody can be an addict. Shit, you ain't wrong. But does that have a nice flow? All right, fuck
No,
it.
not really. I don't know.
No, I'll fuck with it.
Yeah.
Anybody can anybody can be an addict. So A B. I'm just kidding.
Oh,
Uh,
we can refine the name. Addicts are everywhere.
no, that's gay.
Addicts are everyone. I don't know.
I'm just. I'm so sorry.
I have no idea. I'm just throwing ideas out there.
I'm sorry. I just, no offense. It didn't matter what the fuck he said. I was just gonna say no. That's gay. Like it did not matter. It could have been the best thing ever.
What
Um,
what names do you have in mind? Because I know you're pretty
uh,
good at coming up with those.
oh shit. Wait, actually coming up with a name? Oh god, no. Uh, oh,
You know, we could be
um,
simple.
I'd be
Wait,
like
wait,
a holding on to life cast, or
that's
like
pretty good.
something like that. I like holding on to life with your legitist homeboys, Maple
Responsible
and
usage
Fremont.
cast.
Sorry, what?
Responsible usage cast.
Responsible usage cast. We're
Yeah.
like we're like oh like a meta insertion into another thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fire. No, that's fire. I love how yeah, I'm still recording. This is good.
All
We
right.
will understand the future of whatever will never happen or will.
All right. Well, is this the end of the first episode?
It,
Is this
it,
G? Is this
we
peace?
should probably at least end it because this is an
Yeah.
hour and
All right.
I like what the fuck do I even upload this on?
YouTube.
Oh shit! Its own channel though. We gotta give it.
No, put it on your channel.
Oh sweet pudding Christ! My poor channel.
This is a reminder. Don't go to bed.
Don't.
This is a reminder. Don't go to bed.
Wait, yeah. Why would I not go to bed? Oh no, that's ominous.
Don't go to
What
bed.
kind of fucking reminder was that? Well, I fucked up.
Hell.
I don't know what I did there. That's dark.
Maybe you were just like, go to bed, but Alexa heard "don't" in there somewhere.
Must be the. I don't. I'm gonna have to take a moment to contemplate the rest of my evening. I'm glad that we all got to experience that because I have to experience that now for the rest of my night. Uh,
Yeah.
I
Well,
think
this
this
was the
is
first
dang.
episode of the
This is fat.
um
This is
whatever the
fat.
fuck we're calling
This
this.
is super cool. This is like what happens when you have a threesome for the first time. I think,
Mhm.
but like in voice form.
Platonically.
Yes. Well, most threesomes ideally are platonic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, mine are. I mean,
Get Wi-Fi anywhere you go.
wow. Nope, that's a good time. Bye.